Election anxiety refers to the stress, worry, and fear that many people experience during election cycles. This anxiety is often heightened for those who feel like their rights and protections are at stake, which feels like about 75% of the country right now. Here are some strategies to help. First, limit your exposure to the news and social media. While staying informed is important, it's also important to balance that with self-care. And honestly, I can't watch the news anymore. It's too effing much right now. Second, surround yourself with supportive people, either online or in person. And third, vote. If it didn't matter, Elon wouldn't be trying to give away $1 million a day to convince you to vote for his candidate. Think about that. Your vote is worth $1 million to Elon Musk, the richest person in the world. This means that your vote is powerful. Use your power however you feel fit. Why do we develop feelings for other people when we are in a relationship with someone we love? It makes no sense. Psychologically, it's a mix of optimism and dissatisfaction. We tend to focus on what's lacking in our current situation and idealize what we don't have. Often, we only see the positive of what's over there and often overlook their imperfections. To break this cycle, you have to realize that every relationship has its ups and downs, goods and bads, positives and negatives. Once you can accept this, it can make it easier to appreciate what you have. Supporting someone struggling with addiction is really hard. These illnesses hijack people's brains and it makes it very difficult for them to change their behaviors. Here are 3 things that have helped me when I work with people who struggle with addiction. Number 1, it takes multiple attempts to become abstinent. So each attempt is one step closer to getting there, and reminding people of this helps to reduce the shame that they feel for not succeeding. Number 2, no one wants to stay an addict, but you have to understand the forces that are continuing the use. Sometimes it's loneliness, sometimes stress, sometimes poor coping, sometimes fitting in. Until you know why they continue to use despite the harm, you won't know how to best help them. And number 3, you can't work harder than them to get well, meaning you need to know when you have done your part and be at peace. It's natural to care what others think. It is unfortunately part of the human experience. The key to unlocking this is to focus on what you think of yourself. Start by asking, what do you value? What makes you proud? What aligns with who you are? When you care more about your own standards instead of trying to meet everyone else's, it will transform your life. Plus, the more you accept yourself, the less you'll feel the need to chase acceptance from others. Feeling numb after repeated rejections is actually a pretty normal response. Our brains go into self-protection mode, almost like saying, hey, enough, I get it, I don't want any more pain. The trick here is to remind yourself that rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. I have found 2 ways to reframe rejection that have helped me, and hopefully they'll help you. First, if I'm not getting rejected, it means that I'm not putting myself out there enough. When I get rejected, I see this as my way of pushing myself out of my comfort zone and growing. Second, I also see rejection as a way of helping me guide me to the path made for me. Once a door closes, then I don't waste any more time pursuing it, which means that I can pursue other things, which I see as a gift. I think that people are so afraid to be rejected that it causes them never to live. If you are able to change your mindset, then the world will open to new possibilities that you have never even dreamt of. It can be confusing and upsetting that your parents are hiding something so important from you and your siblings. To start, know that their choice may come from a place of protection. They may be unsure of how to tell you or worry about your reaction. If you're ready, consider gently bringing up your feelings with them. You could say something like, I've been sensing a lot of tension and I'm not sure what's going on. Can we talk about it? This lets them know that you're open to understanding without pushing too hard. Also, remember, however they respond, it's important that you do whatever you need to seek support for yourself. This is the last question, and I debated whether or not I would answer it because no one really wants to hear from a celebrity who shares their political opinions. Well, not totally true, there is one person. But if you follow me, then you know that I'm not afraid to speak my mind. So it would be disingenuous for me not to tell you. And for me, I take care of the people that the healthcare system fails. Those are people with mental illness, addiction, and the elderly. These are the most vulnerable groups. And if you want to know who really suffers from failed policies, it's these patients. So regardless of their political affiliation, I want them all to have a chance to live a life filled with dignity. It's why I do these stories, to make sure that people have access to reliable mental health information so that they can make the best decisions for themselves regardless of where they are. So I am voting Kamala, and here's why I think she will give my patients a fighting chance. She wasn't responsible for taking half of the country's right to choose for themselves what to do with their own bodies. And that says everything to me. And honestly, if you want to have a baby, great. You don't want to have a baby, great. I'm gay. I don't care. But at the end of the day, everyone wants to know that they have the right to make their own choices, to live their life to their full potential, and to know that no one's going to get in the way of that.